ignoring me for 18, I've been trying to buy this property for 18 months, but I know he's really stuck on price. It's been vacant for 9 years, he just keeps liking to pay all those things. But, so, I made him an offer that's above what I think it should be, but the terms are like, 3% really long-term financing. So if I get that, I can still make it work. So price, if you don't understand how terms, owner carry terms or whatever, affect it, then you're walking away. I mean, there's a deal that doesn't make sense. Another one I closed earlier where, really the ARV is only 50,000, like ARV of 800,000, and I'm already into it. If I did all the stuff, maybe 750. That doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? Well, because there's a loan mod on there, and the PITI on that big 5-acre horse ranch property is only $1,800 a month. Who cares what I'm into it for? So anyway, understanding the terms.
So actually, I'm still getting deals from agents, from pocket listings for whether commercial or single family. Agents are still bringing me deals. Yeah, and so and other wholesalers too. So yeah, the opportunities are still there. It is harder if you're sending mailers out right now, calling people. It is a lot of work. Right now, with the market changing, the margins are super thin. But you could also wholesale deals like that. So I had wholesale the subject to, which means I just took over the mortgage, and then I got that contract, and I gave it to a contractor, so he was paying the mortgage while he was rehabbing it, and then he sold it. So there's different ways to look at deals, and not just one way. So yeah, the market's challenging. It is, but there's still things out there. I have my systems in place. So, because right now, like I said, I'm in a transition phase going into commercial real estate. But my systems that I set up for my single family wholesaling and rehabbing, they're still on. So I'm getting people on my website calling me. People are saying, "Oh, hey, I saw you on YouTube or whatever. Do you have a deal or do you need a deal?" So the deals are still coming. So yeah, so you just have to get out there, get networking, and talk to a lot of people.
So my answer is really twofold as far as finding hidden opportunity. One is be willing to go outside of your home area. I know a lot of people getting started, the comfort zone is in your home, and that usually is a good strategy when you're getting started, but the sooner you can reach beyond that. I did my first fix and flip deal in Indiana. I live in Southern California here. So be willing to go to other markets for storage properties. We don't go into the main primary markets. We go into secondary and tertiary markets because we just find better cash flowing deals there. And none of them are in California. They're all in other states that cash flow better. The second part of the answer is also to look for opportunity to repurpose an existing area. So for us in storage, that might be to find a warehouse that we can then convert to storage units. Ginger and I were talking even before we got up here that she, did you already buy it or you're in escrow on it?
No, so I'm looking for medical office buildings.
Yeah. So she's looking for an opportunity where there's a building there and she's going to repurpose it and turn it into medical offices. So you can get creative and maybe there's a space, we haven't done this directly, but know of others that will buy a big box store. Big box store meaning like an old Walmart or Kmart that's gone out of business or whatever. And think of what else is a creative use for it in that area. Now you have to look at zoning laws and make sure you're complying with the city zoning laws, but just think out of the box and what would be the highest and best use for this property?
All the four behind. How many of you have had a problem one day, think about solution, go to bed, and then you came with a better solution?
Happens to me in the shower.
Right? Yeah, it's something about it. No, and let's add wine. Oh my God.
It's a shower thing.
Why I'm saying that, yeah, I don't know why. It's like brilliant things come to your mind. Yeah. And why I'm saying that is I'm going to share two things really quick. The first one is, when you look at a deal, normally we go with one focus, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But remember, when you are in real estate, you are solving a problem. What you need to focus is what kind of problem you are solving. For example, I have a guy that I love. He's an old guy, and my partner, I always tease her because I say that she's in love with him. He's like an 8-year-old man. And what happened is that this man was trying to sell his house overpriced. And it was like $20,000 over, and it was a duplex. But when you're talking to him, and if you are listening, that's one of the skills that you need as a negotiator. If you're really listening to what he's saying, he's, Jennifer, I just don't want the headache to have to manage this property. Jennifer, I just don't want my kids to use this as a motel. and literally, that's why he told me. And third, I just want to have some extra money so I can enjoy the life that I have, the short time with my new wife. And that's why he told me. And yes, he wanted his price. And I said, okay, well, if you're willing to take, some terms, is that something that you will explore? And he said, yeah, let's do it. Okay, well, I got into this property with zero money. So an investor gave me the money. The property cash flowed $1,100 a month. And literally, yes, I bought it with $20,000 extra, but right now the property is worth it $40,000 more. So it's about timing, it's about perspective, and it's how you look at the problem. You're solving the problem, you are not just getting a deal. When you start changing that perspective, deals are everywhere. You can repurpose, you can do whatever you want. So that's the first thing, that's where the hidden opportunities are. And now the second, which I lost the thought. The second is hidden opportunities. Observe the demographics of what's happening in your area. And I'm thinking here from a macro, micro perspective. And why I'm saying that is sometimes we are so focused, oh no, I just want to put a family there, and they want to live in that single family home, multifamily, or whatever. Sometimes we focus in a self-storage, we just want to use it to have things. But then what happens when you have a state like Florida, where most of the population are elderly? When you are repurposing, yes, you have the elderly people, but then there's another hidden gem, which I just discovered and I want to share with you. There's certain counties here in LA that they will allow you to have a boarding house, which it means you can put 3 people in one room as far as you follow the requirements, right? People who are in the streets, and the government pay for it. Where the market is so overpriced, how can you really increase your cash flow to make that work? So I just want you to think about that, because there's a lot of opportunities out there if you're using the right lens. And I have a couple of deals right now, acquire multifamilies with one of my partners. That's what we are going to do. But don't do this. Do not go into one property with only one exit strategies. That's burning your whole portfolio right there, okay? Always, always, always have another exit strategy. And of course, we have another exit strategies for those. But what I'm saying is, focus on solving the problem. If the problem is the cash flow, how do you change that cash flow? If the problem is how the deal is, how to structure the deal, then solve that. But you are a problem solver as a real estate investor.
Are you talking about ADU? Yeah, okay, interesting. Hidden opportunities, okay. This is not so hidden. Let me just bring it to the surface. So many opportunities that I run into are just solely because of your network, your sphere of influence, okay? I have this to say. All of you are getting educated. All of you are building your networks. All of you are meeting women that are doing this real estate thing. And believe it or not, there's a majority out there that don't even know half as much of what you know. And so there's so many people just to help within your network, but they just need to know what you do. So most of our deals certainly come from people that we already know and who we network with. Another hidden opportunity that I just thought of this now was in the last house I lived in, I bought this house and ended up, it was supposed to be a fix and flip, and I ended up moving in, and so I flipped it differently, so that was cool. But I got a dog and started walking it around our neighborhood and ended up buying 2 more houses like on my cul-de-sac, right? And so I was like, oh, how come I've never done this before? I'm a flipper, and I started telling the neighbors what I do, and believe it or not, people were just, well, here you go. Will you buy my house? Absolutely. This is what the easiest rehab. I just walk across the street. How awesome is that? And, yeah, that was good. And there was one more point I wanted. The hidden market, what you were talking about is something that, there's 2 points. A lot of my wholesalers that I'm getting deals from, do a lot of mailers. I buy a lot of stuff from my wholesalers. And one market that I know has been really, really successful is, and this is something we've mailed to in my business as well. For some reason, like the elderly, like people, like I can get a mail list, and I'll get a list of, maybe even all the owner-occupieds in Orange or Santa Ana over 70 or something, and then get that really pointed, focused list, and I've been able to buy, for whatever reason, right? They're empty nesters, they're moving to Arizona, and or maybe even they're hoarders, because they've had this lifetime. And as investors, you can really give them a service by going in there and taking care of all that stuff for them. So that's a hidden market, I think. And lastly, the ADU, accessory dwelling unit. So I mentioned earlier I do Airbnbs, but they just passed the ADU law, accessory dwelling unit law, and I think there's going to be huge opportunities here in LA, in California. Accessory dwelling unit. And I hear there's a pilot program that like the LA county or city is putting up where they'll give you up to $50,000 forgivable loan to convert, maybe, some homes have illegal garages, to convert that legally, right? This is 80, so I think there's a huge opportunity here. And the reason why they passed this law in California is because they didn't develop enough. They didn't do a lot of new construction, so there's a housing crunch here. So that is definitely an upcoming hidden market, for sure.
Hidden gems. Am I on? Really, a couple things. You're sitting
I think
in
we're
a
having
room.
problems with the mic. Is it on?
Oh, it's on.
Okay.
Hidden opportunity is the person to your left or to your right. Honestly, most people, especially women, if you view it like I need deals, we feel like we're grasping and we don't want to ask for money. Who here has a hard time raising money because they don't want to ask for it, right? You need to change your mindset, and the person next to you can help you do that, because you're actually providing an opportunity for somebody to earn a better rate of return, right? That's an opportunity that you have, and you have it because you're sitting in this room. So hidden gems, hidden opportunities is sitting in this room, because you've heard the saying, right, that real estate is a team sport. I say it all the time. And that your net worth is determined by your network. That's what this is.
Yeah.
How you get deals, how you get money, all of that stuff is determined by the people that you know, or the people that you choose to know, or the places that you put yourself, right? Because it's communication. It's absolutely communication. I will give you one little tidbit. Being in the note space, I can't walk into Wells Fargo and say, I want to buy a note. Can't do it. I wish I could, but no. So and Dawn knows this, all of us know this, your network, especially in our space, in the note space, you have to have a strong network. You have to start asking the questions and telling everybody what you do. That is key. We women I find it fascinating because we run households, right? We're married, we have kids, we run households, we balance budgets, we do all of those things. And then when it comes to real estate and telling people what you do or feeling confident enough to make that